Hello, people of the internet. This is MK Xbox. Before I get on with the IS-8 review, I'm just going to have a quick little rant. The reason why I haven't been putting up videos on the channel is because I've been having some shit games these past 2 weeks, like terrible games. There's games filled with retards that just don't know how to play. I mean, if you look here, 5 kills, 2,000 damage done. That's more damage than the enemy team did, than the top 2 enemy players did. Not combined, but, you know, it's just your team just let you down. I mean, I got a third of the kills for our team. It's just not on. So I've been having a lot of games like this, and they're not worthy of YouTube. So anyway, rant over. Let the review begin. So here we are, the IS-8, as promised. You might notice I don't have my premium account, but I do have 1,049 gold. I'm planning on getting one over the weekend or Friday, because there's not much point in me getting it during the weekdays, because I only get like 2 or 3 hours a night after school. So, anyway, onwards with the review. So, as per usual, going to go over this, go over this, go over this, go over this, as I always do, go over this, and then go over how the tank looks and how it affects gameplay. Anyway, right, so, starting off, it has 1,800 hit points, which is not bad for tier 9. I don't have any other tier 9 tanks to compare it with, but I suppose I can compare it to its brother, the ST1. That also has 1,800 hit points, so it's clearly an ongoing theme with the Russian heavies. If you take a look at the M103 from the Americans, how much does that have? 1,750, and then I'm going to go to the French, not expecting them to have a terribly large amount. No offense to the French, but they don't really. Oh, 1,750, and finally the Germans. So let's, where are we? E75. 1,820, but they are the Germans, and the VK, yeah. So it's definitely on the upper end of the hit point scale. It's got a lot of hit points. It sort of sits in between the middle of the three nations. I mean, I forgot to check the Chinese, but you know, I can't be bothered, and the British. But I was just comparing them to the sort of main people that you see on the battlefield, because in all fairness, I don't really tend to see what they 113s or WZ11114s or Conquerors or whatever they are. You don't tend to see those on the battlefield as much as you do E75s, VK 4502Ps. Other IS-8s, other STIs, and the M103, they're all the really common tier 9s. So it kind of sits in between. So it's got a weight load limit of 51.25 tons. That's what it's currently loaded with. Out of the available 58.9 tons. Of course, I have the upgraded track, so I can put a lot more on. But the stock one only has a load limit of 50.9 total. Which is less than this, of course, but it's the better track, so you'd expect that. So at the moment, it's got a 700 horsepower engine. Now, I must note that I don't have the best engine at the moment. I'm still sort of grinding my way towards that. I'm still 11,000 experience off, so I'm still grinding my way towards that. But you have 700 horsepower's worth of engine pushing 51 tons of tank, so it's got quite a good power to weight ratio. I mean, you'll regularly see, well, you might not see 50 kilometers an hour, but you'll definitely see 45, sometimes 50. So yeah, just cover the speed limit. Traverse speed, it's not amazing traverse speed, but it's alright traverse speed. I mean, for a heavy tank it's good, but I mean, I suppose the two different lines of the heavy tanks for the Russians, you've got, you know, the fast sort of more maneuverable ones, opposed to the slower, more heavily armoured, less maneuverable ones down at the bottom. So it's definitely one of the more maneuverable ones. Now it has, the hull armour is 120 at the front, 80 at the sides, 60 at the rear. But I must note, again, starting with the IS-3, you get this pike nose. I can't really tell, but it looks like it's got more of a piked nose than the IS-3, which basically means that 120mm of hull armour, which is more than the 110 to begin with, is sloped back even further. So if I was to look at it from the top, it angles back like that, but it also angles down like this as well. So it's very effective at bouncing shots. You'll definitely be bouncing shots from lower tier vehicles. Definitely the BL9. I mean, it does 200mm of penetration, but it still bounces quite. You'll see it bounces quite regularly in this thing, as you would expect in a tier 9 tank. Size and rear are shit as usual. Now, it doesn't have the benefit of the IS-3. If you watch my IS-3 review, this bit here, which I mentioned before, is spaced armor. You might be able to see it just under there. You might not be able to, don't really know. But that's spaced armor, so shooting it here, it'll penetrate, but it won't do any damage unless you're using a very high caliber gun. This tank, on the other hand, does not. I think this little skirt here, this tiny little thing there, I think that's spaced armor, but it's not very thick spaced armor. And you won't be eating too many shots up. Well, actually, you will be eating a lot of shots up with the track. So if you come across an IS-8, don't shoot it in the tracks down here because there's a lot of track to go through. I mean, the tracks are quite thick and there's a lot of things in between. So if you're going to shoot an IS-8, shoot it here because it only has 80mm of armor. And the rear is terrible, but what do you expect? It's the rear of a tank. Turret armor, 201mm at the front. Now that's not as much as the IS-3. And the IS-3 definitely had the benefit of having 220 along with this very curvy, roundy, hard-to-hit turret. Although it doesn't have that, it's got some of its characteristics, but it's a lot easier to hit the commander's hatches up here, and up here, even at range. But you will occasionally see the odd bounce, because, I mean, at the end of the day, it is like an 80-degree angle opposed to a flat 90-degree angle. So it is quite... The turret is quite bouncy, but, I mean, if I go back to the... Oh wait, I don't have the other turret. I sold all my previous everything to get a bit more money. But no, the previous turret, you can see there, it is more round, but it only has about 100 and something millimeters of armor, so you won't be bouncing too many shots with the turret. But you will be bouncing a lot more shots with this turret because it is, again, very round and bouncy. So you've got additional armor thickness as well as the fact that it's a near circle, so it's almost an auto bounce, if you wish. Standard shell damage and penetration, I'll cover that with the gun when I get there. Rate of fire, again with the gun. Turret traverse, don't really expect too much considering it's a heavy tank, but it's alright. Like I said, I think the other heavy tank line has got worse turrets. I don't know why I'm comparing it to the KV-4. Yeah, as you can see here, the STI has a much worse turret traverse, so 18 opposed to 26. It's nearly 10 more degrees per second than the STI or ST1 or whatever the fuck it's called, I don't care. So yeah, you'll have a lot of that. I don't know what I'm on about. I'm a little bit tired, if you're wondering what's up with my voice. And it's got a very good view range. It's got a better view range than quite a lot of other tier 9s. And its signal range 730, but for a heavy tank it's not really needed, and especially with this thing, because if you're going to be shooting at someone, most likely you're going to be shooting them at close range with this beast of a gun. I absolutely love this thing, and I'm so glad I got it. Right, okay, so we've covered the general stats of it, but as we all know, raw stats don't make up for everything. Like I said, piked nose definitely influences the frontal hull armor, which makes it a lot harder to penetrate, as well as the turret. So, you know, stats on the sides, raw stats aren't everything. Onto the, not equipment, modules. Onto the modules. So, I have the best gun, best everything apart from the engine. Now, this gun, oh my god, I absolutely adore this gun. I mean, the BL9 isn't bad, and you can do well with it, and the reason why you can do well with the BL9 at tier 9 is because although you're at tier 9, there aren't that many people in tier 9, so it's a lot. You're a lot more likely to get into tier 8, which is what you were using the BL9 with to begin with anyway. So you can do perfectly fine with it with no problem whatsoever. But you will do even better with this thing. I mean, Jesus Christ, I absolutely love this thing. Now, I don't know why it says 440 damage there, because I tell you what, you will always do about 460 to maybe 490 damage with this thing, honestly. 268mm of penetration, it's like a hot knife through butter, through everything. You will definitely do full damage and more when shooting at things. I mean, I've been shooting at E75s and regularly doing 510. I mean, I haven't been firing premium. You know, premium doesn't even add anything, and I haven't been firing HE because it only does 68mm of penetration. But I have been firing standard ammunition and doing 510 damage to E75s. That's just amazing, you know. So yeah, but along with all the Russian guns, it has a poor reload. And I say poor reload, but I've got a full crew along with a large caliber tank gun rammer, which basically means that I've got my reload down to something like 10 seconds. But when you first get this thing, it'll be at about maybe 11, 12 seconds if your crew isn't 100%. But I assure you, by the time you get to this M62 T2, your crew will be at 100% because it was, what, 62,000 experience? 59,000, it must have been more, I don't know. 59,000 experience, your crew will definitely be at 100%, and you need to get the tracks first, because you can't put the gun on. It just doesn't mount. You can't mount the gun on it with its stock tracks. You have to get the next tracks. So you have to spend 23,000 plus 59,000 to even get this thing to begin with. So that's a little tip. If you get the IS-8, if you haven't got any tier 9s, if you've just got the IS-8, get the tracks first, then this. And remember, it's I think 1,000 kilograms. 1,000 kilograms equals about 1 ton. So 1 ton is about 1,000 kilograms. So this thing weighs 3,397, so 3.397 tons. With the stock tracks, it's not gonna hold that. I mean, with the stock tracks, just trust me when I say get the tracks first, then the gun. You don't want to get the gun first because you'll have the gun, but then you'll be like, alright, well, I've just researched the gun. I don't have the benefit of anything at the moment. Now I've got to go research the tracks. So tracks, then gun. Important. Very important. Being over the turret, radio, who gives a fuck about the radio? Because like I said, this gun's a brawling gun. Just fast rate of fire, sort of. I've got it down to about 10 seconds, like I said. It's not very accurate, so trying to snipe things at distance isn't the most ideal situation. But if you're as lucky as I am when it comes to shooting things at long distance, you'll be just fine. Well, I say I'm lucky, but it says 0.38 accuracy, but it seems more accurate than that at distance. Like, the aiming circle seems to get very small, and I will hit 9 things maybe 8 times out of 10 at distance. Not extreme distance, but distance. And you'll see in one of the replays that I'll have at the end of this video. So the two kinds of playstyle. I think, yeah, 2 kinds of playstyle. One of them sort of up close brawly, I think, and the other one's on Fjords because I played it today. And it was, for me, it was a good game. I mean, if there's some of you, elite mastery guys out there who have been playing for years and years and years, maybe the game that I played is just sort of a bad game for you. But for me personally, it was a very good game. Aim time 2.9 seconds. Again, you're going to be very up close to people. Like, if you're going to be shooting someone, if you're going to be shooting someone at range, you're going to be shooting them at range. If you're going to get close to someone, you want to get close to someone because you want to be able to hit their weak spots. You don't need to hit their weak spots because you're just going to go straight through them. But you're going to be close because that's the environment that this thing is best suited for fighting in. It's just up close, get in your face, put a lot of damage into your ass, get the fuck out of there, brawler. It's just, everything about it just screams brawler. So yeah, so onto the crew skills. At the moment I have Brothers in Arms, and Repairs on 2 of them. Now the reason why I have it like this, and you'll see why, because on my IS-3, if you look, I've got Repairs, Brothers in Arms, Repairs. Now basically, what that means is that you have your repair skills. 2 repair skills, get that to 100%. Okay, so you got your repair down to like 6 seconds. Brothers in Arms adds an extra 5% to those skills, so you might get it down to 5 seconds. Then you've got Brothers in Arms again, which is helping out this Brothers in Arms. Well, no, right. Then you've got Brothers in Arms again, helping out these guys' repair skills. So you have 4 repairs, 4 Brothers in Arms, all helping out, each other effectively, which means you can get your repair time for most things down to 4 seconds, which is very ideal, and especially in a heavy tank, because if you get tracked out in the open, you're a big screaming target for artillery, medium tanks, light tanks. Other heavy tanks, they might be too slow to get around your sides and rear, but you don't want to be tracked and left out in the open. I mean, if you're going out of cover side on, which you shouldn't be doing in this thing anyway, unless you absolutely have to, then you're going to get shot in the side, tracks get blown off, and if it's a French tank, then you know you're screwed at that point, because with their autoloaders, put a shell straight into your side, knock your tracks off. 2 seconds later, put another shell straight into your side, keep you tracked. So if you've got a repair kit, then by all means use it. But if you can get your repair time down to as low as possible, then you know there's effectively no need for a repair kit, because you only have to wait 2 or 3 seconds for your tracks to get back up. So that's what I have at the moment. Now, Sixth Sense, I want to get on this, but I'm going to have this as a 3rd skill, because I think repairs is just an invaluable skill to have on any heavy tank. I don't actually have it on my KV-1S, but that was sort of my first kind of thing, and I don't think I have it on my IS either. That was sort of my first kind of thing, and I didn't really know what I was doing. Oh, Hellcat. Anyway, yeah, so as I said before, I have a large caliber tank gun rammer, takes it down. I don't have enough money at the moment. I'm saving up for a T25/2 with my Hellcat, which I researched yesterday, but I'm poor and I only have 63,000 credits. But if I had the luxury of having more money, more credits, definitely improved crew ventilations, because then it would bring the repair time yet again further down, as well as enhancing everyone's skills. So the loader would load a bit faster, the driver would, you know, be able to control the tank a bit bit better, drive a bit faster, make more use of terrain, engine power. The gunner would be able to, you know, aim the gun better and be a bit more accurate, and the commander would be able to see further, and this, that, and the other, and it just helps in general. But that's 600,000, and maybe I should have grabbed it when I had the chance, when it was 50% off or half price or whatever, but I didn't, because I'm an idiot. Vertical stabilizers Mark II, that definitely helps, because you pop round the corner. You might as well play this thing like a medium tank. It's fast. It's very fast. So you might as well be playing this thing like a medium tank if you're going to play it at all. Again, same thing with the KV-1S. Play it like a medium tank or a light tank with a big gun, because it's got no fucking armor, but Jesus Christ, can it really hurt someone. Anyway, so the IS-8, you want to play it like a heavy tank, but if you're going to get up close to someone, play it like a medium tank. You don't need to play it like a medium tank, because you're going to penetrate them anyway, but play it like a medium tank, get up close in the face, brawl with them, and if you're going to do that, then having a stabilizer is just going to make it so you pop out of cover, then you already have 20% of your aiming circle already half aimed. So if you're moving and your aiming circle is this big, so you pop out of cover, your aiming circle is this big, then you have to wait for it to shrink. If you have vertical stabilizers, it could be this big when you pop out of cover, and then shrink to this big. It still shrinks at the same size, but it just starts off at a smaller circle, meaning it doesn't need to take as long to shrink to have an accurate fire at someone. Right, I've been dragging on for about 15 minutes now, I think. I have no idea. As for usual, my modules, or whatever the fuck they're called, equipment, or consumables even, in the same order again. Again, if you're not too sure why I have it in the specific order, or why you should put it in the specific order, and I'll go over this again like I do every video, but basically, when you want to repair something, you've got like you have like a little sub-menu here. You've got your ammo, then you have your consumables, and then you have your equipment. Like if you have a camouflage net, it'll be over here, and it'll turn green after you've been still for 3 seconds, which means it's activated. But you've got these here, so basically they'll have little numbers over them, so it'll be 1, 2, 3, which indicates what you're going to use to what shell you want to load. So if you hit 2, the next shell that you load will be high explosive anti-tank, or if you hit 3, the next shell you'll load is high explosive. Yeah, high explosive. But if you double tap 1 or 2 whilst it's loading, it'll stop loading. So let's say you're loading AP, but you want to switch to heat, double tap 2, it'll stop loading AP and start loading heat. But if your gunner has intuition on, there's a chance that he might switch whilst this is still loading. So it'll get halfway through loading, you think, oh shit, no, I want to switch to heat. Then instead of it resetting and loading all again, it stays at halfway and just loads the heat shelf from there, which is always a benefit. But it's a perk, so it needs to get to 100% first. Anyway, so you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So you press 4, let's say your tracks get knocked off. So you press 5, which is this one here, to bring up a little sub-menu here, because that's the one you selected. So you press 5, a little sub-menu pops up here. Then you have a little sub-menu, and it's got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, all the way up to 9, with the different modules. So your gun, your optics, your tracks, your engine, your ammo rack, your something else, can't remember, there's something else. And so basically it's that all the way up to 9, and basically each number corresponds to fixing a different module or a different part of the tank. So you open up, if you press 5 and then 5 again, it means you open up the menu and then you press 5 to repair your tracks. So if you get your tracks knocked off, you know instinctively, press 5 twice, your tracks are up, instead of pressing 5 and then learning a different key. So you press 5 and then 7. If you get good at it, you might be able to do it at the same time. But for me, I know if I press 5 twice, my tracks are up. I don't even need to think about it. And the same with the first aid kit. If your driver gets killed, you press 4 to open up the sub-menu, and then 4 to heal your driver. And 6 is just a case of muscle memory. If you get set on fire, smash the 6 key. Don't literally smash it, because you might damage your keyboard. But press the 6 key, and you extinguish your fire. If you can get into a habit of putting this on all your tanks, if you look on my tanks, every single tank has it in exactly the same order, so I know exactly what I'm doing in every single game. So I don't even need to think. If I get my tracks knocked off and I'm in a dangerous situation, I don't even need to think about it. But again, if you have the crew skills, you might not need a repair kit. Anyway, so that covers the main sort of practical, theoretical, gisty part of this. I'm going to load up the replay I think I'm going to do 2 replays if I have time. I'm going to load up both the replays. I think I'm going to start with my Fjords ones that I had today, because I quite like that game. And it was a bit of a different use of the IS-8. It wasn't necessarily how it should be played, but if you're in a situation where you can play it like that, then by all means do it, because it kind of excels at medium to close range, and I'd say the range I was engaging at was about medium range. So yeah, so I will be right back when I have the replay loaded up. So here it is. Forgot to press play. Never mind. This is not looking good. Okay, right. Alright, so this is the replay IS-8 on Fjords. Now, I end up, to begin with, going down to this little area down here. Now, I have XVM turned on, sort of, I think. I'm not sure. It doesn't seem to work. Okay, I thought something was wrong there for a second. Anyway, so I go down here, down to this little area here to sort of start holding off the area. Try and get some sneaky shots into anyone who tries to go down here. Now, I do end up killing a lurver pretty early on. I can't remember exactly how many kills I got, but I think I'm one of the last tanks in the game. So yeah, so I'm one of 3 tier 9s on our team. Rest of tier 8s, and there's 2 unlucky tier 7s. Technically, it's fine because the matchmaker is made so you're only going to get into a game 2 tiers higher than you, and artillery I think is 3 tiers higher, or you miss a tier, you skip a tier and then it's 3 tiers higher. So tier 4 artillery will get, or tier 5 artillery will be, it'll skip tier 6 and then it'll be 7, 8, 9, which is how it always is. So here's the lurver. I plant a nice... I don't actually see myself plant the shot into him, but I assume I damage him because next time we see him, he's lost a lot of health. So there you go. And he's taken a lot of damage as well. And I get the sneaky little kill in as well as he's on fire. Boom, 130. So first guy dead. First kill of the game. Now I'm trying to look to see if I can get a shot on this T-34. And at this point... Oh, there we go. Artillery. I completely forgot that artillery can hit me here. And at this point, I'm sort of thinking to myself, right, well, we don't have a high chance of winning here, but I need to get my... first, my team was completely useless. I keep telling them to spot over here. They just don't want to, because I can help them. There are things up there that are shooting at them, and I donk the first two shots on this T25-2. So yeah, but I keep telling them to go spot up there, otherwise I can't help them, and they all just keep dying. They just keep dying over and over and over again. All of them. They're just lemmings going to die. But I keep telling them, if you go up there and spot them, then I can help you out, because I'm a big tier 9, and there's tier 7s, and there's only I think the other IS-8 is up there as well. And I try and take a shot at this 1390, and there you go. There's the long aim time. Well, it's not too long, but it lets you down. And as you can see, there was still a lot of aiming left to do. So I know that there's things up there, and that T-34-1 blocks me. And there's the IS-8 that hit me. And I know there's things over there, but I know if I move back here, I'm leaving my rear right flank open to anyone shooting me from down here, and artillery is shooting me from over here. So I'm kind of in a bit of a dilemma at the moment, and I'm just sort of checking over there. And I'm a bit of a dilemma, because my idiot team won't go spot up there. They're just sitting around the corner waiting for them to come round. But I'm clearly getting spotted as I'm down here, and I kill the Panther 2, I think, or do a lot of damage to him. But I then take a big hefty hit from a DW Panther, as you're going to see, 470, and I set him on fire as well. I linger around here too long because I want to see what's going to happen, and I'm scared of going too far up, otherwise I'm going to get hit again, because I know I've been spotted, and 501. So I make the decision to, I think, heal my driver, or, oh no, my gunner. If both your driver and your gunner get knocked out, it's a case of, that should have gone through, I should have lost a lot more health. Anyway, if your driver and your gunner get knocked out, it's best to heal your gunner, because, okay, your driver can drive, you can't get anywhere without your driver, but if you're in like a really unmaneuverable tank, like, I don't know, there, nailed the IS-8. If you're in a really unmaneuverable tank like a mouse or something, then yeah, by all means heal your driver. But yeah. Other than that, you want to heal your gunner, because he's the guy who's going to get you out of most situations. So I've planted 2 shots now into that IS-8, which is good. So that's good. And for the rest of the game, I'm just planting shots into there. But again, my idiot team just they don't want to help out. They don't want to go spot people around the corner, so I can't help them. And I end up killing the IS-8s as well, I think. And I do end up helping them around that corner, but a lot of them do die because they were idiots and they didn't go spot. And I did tell them, look, good. If you look at my chat, I keep telling them to spot, and I think some of them start to pull their thumbs out, but one of them's going round, and then the other people are lingering back because they're not too sure, and then that guy dies, or he's on low health, and there I am, all round at once. If they all went round at once, they could have probably taken out a few of the tanks themselves, along with not dying. So I'm kind of considering, well, how far up do I want to go? Do I want to push around the corner to deal with the T-32 and Type 59 and leave my flank open to the T-25-2 and the IS-8's dead? And anything else that might be up on that hill. I think their T-34-1 is up there as well. And again, there I am. I can't help if I can't see them. And there's the T-25-2. Planted a nice solid shot into him, and I'm confident that he's not going to penetrate my frontal armour, because you can be pretty confident that tier 8s and there we go, knocked out the T-25-2. You can be pretty confident that tier 8s and tier 7s, they won't penetrate your armour. Anything below tier 8 won't penetrate your armour. Some tier 9s might struggle to penetrate your armour, but let's be honest, most people at tier 9, unless they're completely useless, they will aim at your weak spot, and the lower glaciers, which is something I forgot to mention earlier, is a big weak spot. I mean, if I pause the video here, just look, and although it's hard to hit at range, that's a very flat surface. Although it's angled, it's a flat surface, and they will shoot you there if they can. They will shoot you there if they can. Also, oh shit. Also, this area just over here is a weak spot as well, if they're up close and personal to you and their gun is elevated and pointing down. So, this T-34 is pushing around this corner over here. They've decided to make the push across, which is fair play because nobody else has been spotted around there. XVM has said that they haven't been spotted, so I decided, right, I'm going to push up and try and help. And I think, I'm not sure who it is, but they say I'm a stupid IS-8 driver. And I tried, and I point out to them, mate, I've done like 2k damage, 4k damage or something, and I've got 3 kills, because I end up killing Just can't remember who it was. I killed a Type 59 who was trying to kill the T-34, but my reload was just a bit too slow. Try and sneak a shot just over the T-34 there, and it goes wide, just wide. So yeah. Also, shout out to Vagu, who one of the subscribers. We have 13 subscribers, and I was fairly surprised that he decided to contact me. He contacted me on World of Tanks. We've been having a few games together. I may or may not show some of those games. They have been good. They've been fun. But yeah, I was just a bit surprised that I actually had a subscriber from our channel contacted me on World of Tanks. It was a bit surreal. So after 2 or 3 shots at firing at the T-34-1, I think I give up, because it's just not worth it. And okay, in this instance, in all fairness, maybe I should have been concentrating on shooting those guys around the corner, but that T-34-1 had my attention, because I wasn't too sure if he was going to plant shots into my flank. So I get a nice good solid shot, I back up to make sure I can hit him, and I take a risky shot. He rams the IS-3 and then kills the T-34, and I think the T-34 calls me an idiot driver, but I was reloading. There wasn't a lot that I could do. Then I plant a nice solid shot into the Type 59. He dies. IS-8 shit or something. Yeah, there you go. T-34. Very idiot. So he says that, and then I stop here, which again maybe isn't the best thing in the world to do. I stop here and I type a nice little message to him, explaining to him that I've done 3k damage. I have 3 kills, and he's dead. So yeah, I'm just gonna speed it up here because it's just me typing. There we go. Yeah, mate, I've done 3k damage and got 3 kills. I don't think I'm doing shit. I think I actually end up with 4 kills this game. I kill the IS-8, I think, and I try and ram the T-34-1 to death, who miraculously somehow just doesn't kill me. He should have been able to kill me, but he doesn't. So I start making my little journey down over here. Of course, with a dead driver, there's not a lot I can do. I can't get my speed up any further. I've used my medical kit, so I suppose if I had a big medic kit, then it would have been better, more beneficial, but I didn't. Oh no, IS-8's already dead. What am I on about? T-54E1. I think I killed the T-54E1. Now, I'm mindful that we have our T-54, who's just right back over here, and I don't want to attack this T-54E1 just yet because I know he has an auto loader, and he can easily take me out in two shots, maybe 3. So I want to make sure that that T-54 has my back before I actually go and push around this corner here. I'm not sure if this T-54E1 realizes, and the Hummel takes a shot at me. He could have taken me out. I've seen Hummels take out IS-8s in this position before. But luckily I moved backwards just in time. So I see the T-54 fire and assume that he has the attention of the T-54E1, so I make my move down here. Now the T-54E1 isn't stupid, so he rightfully tries to draw my attention to the guy who's flanking him, because the RT-54, I'm hoping that he goes a bit further up, and I don't want to take the shot yet, because if I take the shot and it ricochets, that would be bad. So I want to make sure that it's gonna definitely damage. So there we go, and he plants another shot into me and takes me down to like 3 health. This T-34E1 should have damaged me, it should have killed me, but this was just comical. He was about to just dive straight on top of me, and yeah, I wasted my last shot into this T-34-1. He should have killed me, in all fairness. He should have killed me, but I moved out of the way just in time. He landed straight in front of me and effectively saved me from getting killed by the T-54E1, so thanks for that, T-34-1. So yeah, then the Lerva is like, yeah, IS-8 good game, and I just sort of think, well, there's not much point going after the Hummel IS-8. I just say you can kill the RT, and it turns out the GW Panther kills him anyway, so it wasn't even the T-54. So it's been the first replay. I've got another one coming up next. I think it's on a city map. I can't remember. I played the game like 2 or 3 days ago. The reason why I played this one is because it was fresh in my mind and I knew exactly what was going to happen when and where. So I might have to watch the replay tomorrow. Or I might have to watch the replay again just to refresh my mind. So that was the first game, and that was a bit more of an abstract way of playing the IS-8. And you can see that it definitely excels in close-range combat, and had I not had my driver dead, I probably would have been able to ram the T-54E1 to death. But my driver was dead, and I'd made the decision to heal my gunner, and had I not healed my gunner, I would not have done what I did. Now, although it says 3,000 918 damage done up here, that's not actually true. XVM only picks up the shells that you plant into people. It effectively what it does is it records what's on screen and then displays it back to you. So when I planted it, that shot that I planted into the lurver at the beginning of the game, which is the first shot that he took effectively, that shot that I planted into him, that registered. It didn't register here because it didn't pop up on the screen because he got despotted, therefore the hit marker and the amount of damage I did didn't show up. But that actually turned out to be about 4,000 something damage done. So that's 4,000 something damage done, 4 tanks dead. That's effectively 4,000 damage done to each tank, if you average it out effectively. So again, bit of a more abstract way to play the game. I sort of camped in this little spot here. Feel free to use it, but this area here sort of depends on the game. Sometimes I won't go here because I feel that the enemy will end up rushing me, or the enemy are gonna end up flanking me from behind. And as you saw there, artillery can hit you even if you're hugging this ledge here, and you have to really stay close to this and pick the right spot, because people are going to shoot you from here, they're going to shoot you from here, and artillery is going to shoot you. But it can be a very, very good spot to shoot, camp in and do damage from, because you can support your allies who are here, who are trying to push on this corner, as you saw my idiot team. I definitely think this was probably a carry. I definitely carried the team for the most part. I mean, the M103 did a fantastic job as well, 4 kills. But I definitely feel like I carried the team for not to seem cocky or arsehole-ish, but I didn't necessarily play it to the strength of my tank, but I played it in a manner that was I definitely played it in a manner that allowed me to excel. So I played it a bit long range. So I mean, when I said medium to short range, I think I would class that as medium range. This little distance here, from here to here, that would probably be long range. Tigers, German tanks are best suited at long range, and maybe I shouldn't have been shooting. I mean, you saw I missed quite a few shots on that T25/2, but it definitely excelled here when I was brawling with the T54E1. But of course, a tank's only as good as its tanker, I suppose. And I'm not sure if you noticed, but I think I was trying to wiggle my tank. I might not have been. There wasn't a lot of room down here, in all fairness, but it's definitely a good brawler. And if you know how to brawl and you're good with big tanks with a lot of health that punch people in the face repeatedly and just put them on the floor, the IS-8 is definitely a tank for you. So I have one more replay to show you. I will boot that up and I will show you sometime soon. Sometime soon, what am I on about? I will show you that momentarily. So, this is the second game I have to play, or to show you, even. So this is clearly on Halluf, not my favourite map in the whole world. I really don't like it, to be perfectly honest. Every time I see this pop up on my screen when I'm, loading into a game, I'm just like, ugh, fuck, Halluf. And I'm pretty sure it's the same deal with everyone else. So I wasn't expecting to do too well. I mean, I was, one of 2 tier 9s on our team, so there was the potential for me to do well, I suppose. But I didn't think I was going to do too well. That wasn't until I did well. I might actually have screenshots of this saved. I have absolutely no idea whatsoever. So I might have to check that. So I decided to head off to the north flank. I don't actually intend on going up to the hill just in front of me now, because the gun depression on this thing, god awful. It's god awful. And trying to fight up there, I just get shot up by the 4 artillery, and I didn't want that. The team need me. I'm one of the tier 9s. So the team do need me to effectively stay alive. So I decided to stand up over, park myself over here, and try and shoot anyone who tries to come down. Now the ST1 or STI, he doesn't have the best turret, as you can see, because XVM has put a little star next to his name, so he doesn't have the best turret, so he doesn't have the best gun. Well, actually no, he might have the best gun. I'm not sure, because you don't need the best turret for the best gun on the IS-8, I don't think. No, you don't. Anyway, so I'm not sure why he's going up there. The T-32 is probably the only exception, because the American tanks have amazing gun depression, like absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. So, yeah, like I said, I'm just going to sit up here, wait to see if anyone makes the stupid mistake of popping around, in which case I'll put a shot into their side. So it's at this point that I've realised if no one's been spotted, or near enough this point anyway, if no one's been spotted by this point, I'm going to move. And at that point, a Tiger P gets spotted, I look at my map, and I think, oh, and there's a T-29, so I decided to camp it out a little bit more over here, see how the game progresses. I'm just going to speed it up here. I want to see how the game progresses. So now I start to move, and I decide I don't want to move too far up because I'm pretty sure the Jagdtiger is going to be parked up on this little hill over here, and I'm correct because that's where they are. That's where the tank destroyers always go. Now, shooting the front of this KV-4 may not have been the best idea I've ever had, or the best thing I've done on World of Tanks. But you know, I just decided, hey, might as well give it a go. As you can tell, it hit him, didn't go through because KV-4s have quite a nice bit of armor, quite a good bit of armor on them. Luckily, I think this next shot goes in. Yep, 376 damage. That's the first damage I've actually done this game, but it gets better. It does get better. So I wait to reload, plant another shot into him. It luckily doesn't hit the hill on the side. Do 528 to him, and that's all well and good. Yeah, 528. So now I see the Tiger 2, and I decide to start putting some pressure on him, and 537 I've had, like I said, it's supposed to only do 440 damage, but when you're shooting at things at a lower tier than you're going to regularly see 500. I mean, I just did 500 to a KV-4 and then to a Tiger 2 consecutively, so you will see that happen a lot. So, considering the Jagdtiger was spotted just over here, I decided to move because he's not going to be able to be in a spot where he's going to shoot me, and I believe the Tiger 2 bounces off me, or something bounces off me, and that long aiming time meant that I had to take a chance at shooting. Luckily, the shell went straight and true and hit the Tiger 2. So now I'm thinking to myself, well, if I get another high roll, I have the potential to hit the Tiger 2 over there. Take another shot, 368, it was a low roll. A lot lower than average for this one. I mean, again, 440 average damage, but hey, it's Russian. It doesn't need to play by the rules. And there's their IS-8, so I decide, right, ignore the Tiger 2, and he's dead anyway, and decide to start putting some pressure onto the IS-8. So then I decide to myself, well, the STR, the T-32, and the IS are all going at him from the front. I might as well try and be useful and try and flank around the back. Now, it takes me quite a while to get up this hill, and I believe the IS-8 gets killed before I can actually get to the top. But I do get to the top, and I do some more damage. So, yeah, I'm just going to speed this up because I'm sure nobody wants to see me going up here. Now, at this point, I catch the Jagdtiger from behind, and I knew he'd be up on this hill, but I thought he'd moved. So anyway, I do take out the Jagdtiger, but I take him out for something like 1,000 something damage. I think the only other person that got a shot was that artillery that just hit him. Other than that, these guys just completely ignore me. You know, the T-29 ignores me. Oh no, he's not ignoring me now. But the GW Panther just takes him out, and this is why everyone hates artillery. I made the stupid decision of trying to ram him. That does damage to myself. Here we are, 1. He does no damage. He's trying to angle, but it's no use. I'm just planting a shot straight into his arse. And then I'm not sure what he's trying to do, but plant a shot into his side. So I've got 1 kill. But I have done 4,151 damage, and I do take out the Hummel. I've got effectively full health, so I don't really care if the Hummel shoots me. Fair enough, pay a bit of a repair bill, but who really gives a fuck? So I storm straight through the building over here, make sure I'm definitely going to get the kill, so I get nice and close to him. I'm playing to his strengths, I suppose, because I'm getting close, but it doesn't matter. I shoot him before he can do anything. And now the rest of the video is just me hunting for the AMX-13F3, which I have no idea where he was. I assumed he was going to be over here somewhere, because I saw their arty shell. It could have been our arty trying to shoot the Hummel, but I saw an arty shell come from over here and land over there, so the rest of the game is just me hunting for this AMX-13F3. But well played to him. I mean, he got 2 kills. Him and the other arty did the best on their team. So yeah, I suppose overall the IS-8 it's one of those heavy brawling tanks that just really hurts people. I mean, I know if I come across an IS-8 on the battlefield, unless he has the BL9, I shit myself. I mean, not necessarily if I'm in an IS-8 as well, but you gotta, you know, if I'm in an IS-3 or anything, you know, at tier 8, and I see an IS-8, I'm just like, oh shit. I mean, fucking hell, it's an IS-8. He's gonna do 500 damage to him. I might, first of all, I have to penetrate him. Second of all, I have to do full damage to get close to maybe doing the same amount of damage he's going to do to me. And with all Russian tanks, you have to remember that if I look at the front, all Russian tanks, if a Russian tank is shooting at another Russian tank from the front, it's going to penetrate. So if you're on an IS-3, for instance, and you come across another IS-3, shoot it here because you have the BL-9. You have to remember, if you have the BL-9, shoot it here because you're going to penetrate. Likewise with the IS-8, if you have the, you know, M62T2, shoot it there. Now, I made a bit of a stupid mistake. Maybe I should have gone to cap. It would have got me a bit more experience. But I don't know. I decided to go find the Sati. I assume he's just scampered off down into this village somewhere, or maybe somewhere along here, which isn't a bad decision. So this has been the M&K Xbox. This has been my M&K Xbox's review of the IS-8 Tier 9 heavy tank. I hope you enjoyed, guys. And I hope to see some more people. Hope to see some more people on the channel. Rate, comment, subscribe. Yeah, catch you later.